we're gonna go check out and see what Kyle's up to today. See what we got going here. All right. So we got going today, Kyle.
So today we just got this brand new wiring harness and ECU from Panic Wire. It's plug and play, ready to go for this bone stock jzx81. All the connections are there. Everything is for factory coils, hydro fan, everything's ready to go. It's all brand new, all new connectors. I mean, this is by far the way to go if you're trying to do like a really nice wiring harness, or you know, just like ECU, or they have plug and play for a stock harness and ECU, so they'll just replace your ECU, but well, you'll have a stock harness. We opted to get a custom harness made by them, just because we don't like the old brittle connectors and the old brittle wiring. This car was having a misfire issue on cylinder 1. It wasn't getting any voltage to it. So the ECU was actually bad and wasn't commanding number 1 to fire. So we got the brand new Link Theory ECU for that. So that'll basically get rid of that stock one. Won't have any more problems. And then when this guy wants to go upgrade in the future to single turbo, different injectors and stuff like that, he'll have the option to do basically anything and everything that he wants to do with this ECU here. And then you have the sub coil harness. So we got this one in case he does want to switch to aftermarket coil packs in the future. So this is just a sub harness for that. It goes to your stock igniter, all your different coil packs here, and then it has this connection right here. So Panic does all these on all of his kits, that you basically unplug this, he makes you another harness for whatever coils you're doing. And then you just plug that into the harness you have, and then you just plug it in, change a couple settings on the computer, and you're good to go.
Easy.
Easy money.
Sweet.
Pretty simple wire harness. I mean, it's better than the other one that has chunks of plastic on it and everything like that. So once it gets to where it's got to sit, and then it'll just be tucked away, you'll barely even see you won't even see this one. It's maybe two plugs over here. That's about it. All the other ones will be tucked away. This will be all covered up with the factory cover. You really won't see any of them. It's all new connectors, so it looks really nice. This is the section where it's coolant temp sensor for the ECU and for the gauge, knock sensor, and then the boosts, or the hydro fan sensor as well. So basically I'm just routing everything, making sure everything goes to where it's supposed to go, all nice and clean like. Okay, so to get this Link Theory to fit in the stock ECU case, first you gotta take out your ECU board and everything like that. You don't need that anymore. So what I did is took the brackets right here and flipped them upside down. So now the case is upside down. What I did was, this was solid across here. I cut this out, grinded it here, grinded it here, grinded it there. Now the ECU just drops in there, fits nice and snug. It won't have a cover on it. It'll just sit in there like this. And then for the ports for the can and everything fits in there. And then you just secure it down with the bracket there. And then all right, so I got all the coil packs on. I got the alternator hooked back up. I had to disconnect it because it's part of the other harness. Got that crank sensor all hooked up. All this is all hooked up. Went ahead and put the intake tube back on, recirc valve tube back on. Finished up the igniter wiring, got all that plugged in. Basically everything's hooked up except for the wideband and the boost controller still left right here. I just gotta weld a bung in the exhaust and hook that up, and that's ready to go. And then on the inside I got So I just got the connections made to be left, put the ECU up in the spot up there, and hook the laptop up to it and make sure everything's good to go and try to start it up. Since this car has a digital cluster with kilometers, we have to calibrate the speedometer using my phone on GPS with cold driving and basically calibrate it so it's in mile per hour. And then the customer decided he didn't want mile per hour and then switch back to kilometers. So you see here, I'm just adjusting all the settings.
We were super stoked on the jzx81 that came in. Darren, I think we got a customer for a long time now.
Yeah.
That car was sick. He came in, the car wasn't running right. Typically with these old JZs, the factory ECUs, if you guys know anything about them, the capacitors,
They just take a crap and then you never know what's gonna fail on it first. In this instance, it was not sending signal to #1 coil pack, so wasn't firing there. So it had power, it just wasn't sending the signal to fire it. So.
and Darren is no stranger to panic, so when he came in, that's the first thing we noticed. We didn't want to mess with trying to get a stock ECU rebuilt. He possibly has plans to go bigger power in the future. Nonetheless, panic wiring was the solution, and Darren was no stranger to him. He actually name dropped him before we did. Going into that, we recommended that we go with a link ECU panic wire combination, which they have kits out there. And luckily, Mark was happy to build us a harness specific for the car. So that was the only other option. We weren't going to mess with old brittle wiring, which the harness had a bunch of brittle connectors.
Yeah, broken connect. All the coil packs were broken. Pretty much anything that you could take off broke, and then all the wiring is just brittle and just old. So with the new harness, everything's brand new connectors. It's all custom for this vehicle. All the pinouts for the connectors on the chassis side. Obviously the 1Js, they're all pretty much the same. They're all the same connectors and everything like that. All the lengths were good on those. Pretty much everything fit very well. Didn't have any issues with.
It was almost like a factory harness.
It was almost factory, yeah, but better, and loomed really nice. I mean, pretty much anything and everything about this harness was just top of the line.
So when we got Mark on the phone, he was excited about the project too, because you don't see a lot of these cars bone stock anymore.
No.
So we pretty much loaded the harness, and then the ECU supported it. What was some of the things that was in the ECU and the harness for this thing that stood out to you?
So with this ECU, we went with the Fury, which has a built-in wideband sensor, which allows you to not run an aftermarket gauge or anything to implement into the ECU. It's already built in, so you don't have to have an extra sensors or wires or anything like that, or the gauge to get in the way to mount or anything like that. You just plug it all in. It's all in the computer. Since this is an OEM car, that he didn't want a bunch of gauges on anything, so everything is just in the computer, and it runs and it functions as an OEM ECU would, but better with more parameters and everything like that.
So this kit, when we talked to Darren, we wanted this kit to work perfect right now, not be held back at all. Bone stock car, stock turbos, pretty much stock fuel system, but we also wanted the ability to expand in the future, that being fuel system, single turbo. This kit kind of supports it all. So Panic had an incredible solution, and we are not getting paid for any of this by Panic as much as we would love to. We push their product. We've installed probably 10 of their kits now, and
they're phenomenal.
Every time we're super stoked. So shout out to Panic Wiring. They have solutions for a lot of Toyota shit, but other than Toyota shit.
Yeah, he does like pretty much anything you can think of. There are certain limitations that he doesn't do. I mean, that other people can do. I mean, that's not a big deal, but he definitely covers a lot of things like common swaps that people are doing nowadays. And you know, some of the custom stuff that he'll do for you if you ask. So
which was this kit.
Which was this kit, yeah. Which is all, you know.
And we even got a pretty good base map, so we were expecting to get this tuned right away. Granted, he's not out racing the car, but the customer had no issues driving the car home, and he's out putting it around. So hopefully, coming by the end of this winter, we'll look into upgrading the fuel system.
Yep.
But the customer can enjoy the car for now. The product was phenomenal. The customer support was awesome. So shout out to Panic. Thank you guys for watching. We appreciate it a bunch. We'll probably do a few more of these videos, but this one, we are not endorsed by Panic whatsoever. We just really wanted you guys to know that their products are good, and we wouldn't be able to achieve the things we do here at the shop, wiring forefront of things, without their input on the technology side. Kyle, good job on installing it. Thank you for jamming that out. That turned out really good.
I'm very happy with the product. If you guys like the video, give a thumbs up. If you don't, put a thumbs down.
But no, don't do that. If you
leave
don't,
a comment.
Still leave a thumbs up. If you hate us, if you think we're stupid, thumbs up. If you think we're fat and ugly, thumbs up. If you think we're stupid, thumbs up. Thanks for watching.
See ya.
Cool. I think that'll be good.